Good morning, my friends. We are here for the very first Collage Stories collage session. I hope you're excited. I'm really excited. So I'm going to put this aside. This is our little title page that I did earlier in the week. So we don't need that now. So first I'm going to talk about substrate. I did have a question on this and I've been bouncing backwards and forwards between a couple of different ideas. Last year for Marguerite Miller, just let me grab it out without pulling everything else off the shelf. Let's turn it the right way. I used this spiral bound, kind of like a notebook. It's A4 size. It's lined paper. If I turn to a blank page, so it was lined paper, and that's what I worked in. I really liked the spiral bound system, and I wanted to do the same. I thought I had another book of similar sort of thing. If I do, I could not find it. So it was like, well, what else can I do? I thought about going and buying one, but trying not to spend money at the moment because I want to save up for a laptop. So it was like, what else can I use? I came up with a pack of yellow, like paper dividers. They're not cardstock. And I thought, great, I'll use those. But then I thought about it, was like yellow. Yellow's quite dominant, and if I don't cover the entire page, you know, it could be very distracting. And if I want to scan any of my works, then the yellow could be a problem. So then I thought, well, I'll just use photocopy paper and that would be absolutely fine. So I'd settled on photocopy paper, and with the idea that I will bind it either in a plastic pocket or in a ring binder, something of that description. And then I was looking for a book for something else, for another project, when I found this pad here. It's from a junk shop, and it's a bit, you know, what do they call that, dog-eared? It's a bit got stains on it here and there. It's actually got the writing from pages that have been used, that have been gone through, the embossing, like it's embossed. It's fine. We're going to collage over top. And I thought, perfect, I will use this. And again, it will go into either a ring binder or a folder of some description. So that's what I'm using. I may not collage the whole page. I might do, you know, just depending what I'm working with, what images I'm working with. So you don't have to fill a whole page. Last year I did, mainly because I had lines on the paper. So yeah, I wanted to cover the whole thing. This year I'm going to, if I want to do a small one, I'll do a small one. I just won't cover the whole page. And because it's all white, if I want to scan it, or even if I don't, even if I just look at it, I'm not going to be distracted by what's happening in the background, either by pattern or color. Okay, so you choose whatever you like. You can do it in a book, you can do it whatever size you like, you can do it loose, put it in a folder or in a box or whatever you like. I'm just going to make sure I'm in frame kind of here. I think we're okay. Okay, so I've chosen, or not chosen, I've pulled from my prompts that you guys have already given me, my first prompt list, and it's from Jo-Sully-Anne. So could you let me know your name? I don't know whether you're Jo or Anne or Sully, or whether it is like your full name is Jo-Sully-Anne. I don't know. If you could let me know in the comments, I would appreciate that, because I'd love to call you by your name or your preferred name. So the list that Jo-Sully-Anne gave me was item from a garden shed, made of gold, feathers, something that makes a loud noise, and binoculars. So that's the 5 prompts that she gave me. And the prompt I've chosen to add to that is modern technology, which when I choose which prompt I'm going to add, I'm just going to handwrite it onto my little cards that I've printed off. I think I've got like 27 or 28 prompt lists at the moment that you've all provided me. Please do continue to leave me prompt lists in the description box. I do not have a year's worth yet, so I definitely need at least a year's worth. So keep giving me those prompt lists down in the description box. So that is what we're working with. You are more than welcome to collage along with me. When it comes to the 6th prompt, you can choose the same one that I've assigned, or you can choose your own. I leave that up to you. That's part of your creativity, whether you want to go with this one or choose something else. So I have chosen out my elements. So something from a garden shed. If I just pick through my pieces here, I've got this image here of an axe and a bit of timber. Made of gold, I have this fistful of, there's pearls and there's a watch and then there's some chains, and I think there's a like stainless steel one there, but there's a couple there that look like gold, and the watch looks like it's got gold on it, so that's good enough for me for made of gold. Feathers, I'm not quite sure whether what I've chosen is kind of what was meant, but it's what I'm going with. I've got this image here of a kiwi. It's a soft toy kiwi, but you know, it's still feathers, sitting on an egg in a nest. So I've chosen that for feathers. Something that makes a loud noise, I have gone with this image of a car accident where two cars have gone bump. I'm sure you would agree that makes a loud noise when that happens. Binoculars, I found a great binocular image. It took me a while. I'll tell you, it took me a while to find an image of binoculars, but I found a fantastic one. And it's this one here of this, it's out of a newspaper. This lady with a pair of binoculars. I think it's absolutely just fantastic. And then modern technology, I've got this image here of an iPhone. Okay, so that's what I'm working with, and I'm going to now work on a composition because I have no idea how I'm going to work all this together. I did not have a play. Of course, I want to leave the strip where the holes are. I want to leave that for binding, so that is fine. Maybe we can kind of do something like that. Oops, let's put our kiwi down there somewhere. Could even put her almost right against the edge of the page. Maybe leave a bit of a border. Do I want the kiwi maybe over that way? Just kind of seeing what's going to work. No, not liking that. Liking that so far. The axe is quite a lot larger than the cars, but that's okay. And maybe that up there. Okay, I think we've got something we can work with in terms of composition. Something like that. Okay, so what this is telling me is I need to put the phone down first. So I think what I might do is kind of leave the pieces in where they are. Just clearing off my glue nozzle. Just come in and put a bit of glue underneath so I'm not moving everything out of the way. I think she can go on next. I usually use tacky glue for gluing these down. It's just quicker, less mess. You can use whatever glue you like, whatever you prefer. I just love this image. I think it's so good and perfect for this collage. These set of prompts from Jo-Sully-Anne. Yeah, right. I think perhaps I should have put that under there. I can still lift it up. Okay, let's put that down. This image is out of a consumer magazine that does ratings on various products and things, and what's best overall, what's best to run or to buy, what lasts the longest, what features they have, all that sort of thing. I don't know if consumer is worldwide or not, so I'm not assuming that you all know what a consumer magazine is. I was given a whole bunch of them. Actually might have been last year, 2024, that I was given a whole bunch, and I went through and harvested them all because there was a big bunch, you know, big stack. So I harvested them so that I could get rid of the bulk of the magazines that I didn't want, because they are rich with wonderful imagery. Like this iPhone picture, I'm pretty sure came out of the consumer magazine. This definitely came out of the consumer magazine. This bit is one of the covers from the consumer magazine. The X, I'm not sure, might have been consumer, but not positive. So yeah, a lot of material from good old consumer magazine. Now, how did I want those? Yeah, so kiwi down next. Kiwi bird, New Zealand's icon, native bird. We refer to ourselves as Kiwis quite often, which you may or may not be familiar with. It's kind of a endearing term, I guess, for any New Zealander, is we're a Kiwi. I'm a Kiwi. But our Kiwi bird is one of our many native birds. We have a lot of native birds in New Zealand. We don't have many native animals. We have quite a few native insects, but birds, like, we've got tons of native birds, which is really cool. And kiwi is a nocturnal bird, so it comes out at night. So there's a place near me, in the city near me, where you can go and see the kiwis. During the day they're in like this dark building, and you kind of go through a path through the building, but they also have a night experience, so you can actually go at night and see the kiwis being active in the dark. Haven't done that. I think it would be really fun to do. One day, we actually, the place that this Kiwi Encounter place, we love going there. We haven't been for a couple of years, and we were going to get each other an annual pass for this year. We have not done it, so I don't know if we're going to end up doing it or not, because we are now getting insulation put in this month, and it's government subsidy, so what we're paying is 20% of the total cost. So we're only paying 20% of the total cost, which is amazing. We've never qualified before, and now we do. So we're getting that done, but it means that our money has to go to pay that 20% of the cost. So I don't know whether we're going to end up with annual passes for this place. It's called Willowbank. It's a little wildlife reserve, but it concentrates on natives and farmyard. It's got other things as well, like used to have a gorilla, not a gorilla, a chimpanzee. I don't know if it still does. And it's got, well, it did have spider monkeys. Don't know if it still does. But, you know, they've got other things as well, but mainly farmyard and native. So there we go. There's the collage. Where am I going to put my list? I did not think of that. I might just like staple it in a corner so I can flip it out the way. I really need to think it, don't I? So often I get to the end and it's like, oh, where am I going to put my prompt list? Maybe by the end of the year we'll have it down sweet and I'll always think of it, but probably not. I get carried away. Okay, so you're probably waiting for the story. Are you interested in the story? I hope you are. Okay, so our main character here, Anne. I'm going to call her Anne in deference to Jo-Sully-Anne, who provided this prompt list. So Anne is an avid bird watcher. She's got her binoculars out and she's watching this kiwi that's nesting, and she's waiting every day. She's watching and waiting for the egg to hatch. And she's out there fixated on this kiwi, just fixated, waiting and waiting and waiting for this egg to hatch. And she hears a really loud noise. It was a big screech followed by a humongous bang. And so she swings around with her binoculars and sees there's been a car accident. And she's got a bird's eye view, no pun intended, of this accident and the aftermath of it. And she's like, oh my gosh, there's been an accident. Oh no, is somebody hurt? What? And she goes into panic mode, and then she's like, right, I've got to ring the police and the ambulance and the fire engine. So here in New Zealand, you ring 911. No, sorry, you don't. I've watched so much TV that I automatically think 911. It's not great. In New Zealand here, it is 111. So the emergency contact number, you know, whatever country you're in, your emergency number that you ring. So she grabs out her iPhone and she's busy dialing 111 to report this accident and call for help in case somebody's been hurt. But then she hears something else. And while she's busy, you know, she's done a bit, she's rung the phone, called the police on this accident. So she's like, well, everything's under control. There's nothing I can do personally. So she hears this other noise. And she's like, what's that? And she starts moving her binoculars around, looking. Where's that noise coming from? And as it gets louder and closer, she can begin to make out that it's somebody yelling, stop thief, stop thief, stop him. And she's like, so she finds the person who's yelling, and he's running along with an axe in his hand. It's held up high above his head. He's got this axe running down the street yelling, stop him. And she's like, stop who? Like, what's going on? So she's like searching with the binoculars, and she's following the path ahead of the man who's running with the axe. It's like, okay, well, must be somewhere ahead of him. So she kind of follows the direction he's running and looks ahead. And she finds this man dressed all in black mask, black clothing, black shoes, black gloves, and out of his fist dangling a whole bunch of precious jewels. And he's hot-footing it down the road. Every now and then he glances behind him at the man brandishing the axe, and he's really running for it. So she's like, oh my goodness, it's a thief. He's stolen all his treasures, all the other man's treasures, and that man with the axe, he might actually kill him. He's so angry, he might, if he catches him, he's going to kill him. So she whips out her iPhone again and she dials 111 or whatever number it is for your country, and she's back onto the police, and the woman on the other side end of the phone on the emergency hotline's like, didn't we just speak with you about a car accident? And she's like, yeah, but there's something else going on. I'm watching a thief, and the man is chasing the thief with an axe. You better get here quick. And so all a jitter, she's just full of adrenaline, but she's done all she can. She can't go and stop the man with the jewels. She might get hurt. She's not going to stop the man with the axe. Again, she might get hurt, even if he didn't intend her to get hurt. So she's just got to sit waiting in her tree for the police to come and sort out all this drama. So much drama when all she wants to do is watch the kiwi hatch an egg. So there we go, my friends. That is today's story. And I thought, I hadn't anticipated doing this, but I thought it might be fun to give a little title to each story so that I can put the title in the thumbnail for each video. So today's video, I'm going to call High Drama, because she's high up in a tree watching birds. Kiwis don't live in trees, you know, in case you didn't know, they don't actually live in trees, but she was up a tree, and that's how she managed to see everything with her binoculars. But she's high and there's a lot of drama going on. So high drama it is today. Thank you, Jo-Sully-Anne, for your prompt list. I hope you enjoyed my wee story. I hope you give it a go. You don't need to make a story to go with it, but absolutely, if you want to make a story to go with your collage, I invite you to. It's so much fun and gives it a lot more meaning. Even if you don't remember the story later on, it just injects a lot, I don't know, a greater sense of connection when you're putting it together, because it's fun. Give it a go if you never have. You might not like it. There, if I can speak properly. You might not like doing that. Give it a try, see whether you do or not. You might unlock a new love. But for now, that's collage stories for this week. I hope you'll join me again next week for next collage story. And oh, yes, that's right, we need to draw a prompt. So thank you to the lovely people. Lydia was the first one to mention it, and then a few others said that they had the same idea of pouring, gosh, my words are gone on me, of pulling the prompt for next week at the end of each video. So I'm going to do that. So thank you, Lydia and Lisa, and I think Selena. Might have been one or two others who mentioned it. Thank you for the suggestion. I think it's brilliant. It's kind of one of those things, I think, why didn't I come up with that on my own? But I didn't. So thank you, team. Thank you, team. So I've just done them on photocopy paper, so they're going to be like a little kind of tricky to shuffle, but I'm just going to loosely kind of chop and change them, just not for a long time, just to mix them up a bit. And as I get new prompts, so don't forget to leave your prompts down in the description box, 5 prompts in a list, and I'll add to the stack. And so hopefully each week I do this, I'll have a bigger stack to pull from. So I'm going to go this one. What's it going to be? So Lisa, you are up next week with the prompts: be brown, heart shape, something made with fabric, and ticket or label. And I will have a think and add a 6th one to that, 6th prompt. So you will find out the 6th one in next week's video. But that's next week, and this is the one for this week. So thanks for joining me, my friends. Have a beautiful week coming up. Enjoy your weekend, whatever you're doing, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye.